reason these kids got into trouble was because of us. We can't let them suffer because of our issues.
This season feels even more emotional and intense than the past seasons. Ralph, how would you say season 3 takes Cobra Kai to the next level?
Well, it takes it to the next level in more than a handful of ways. I mean, it dives into the origins of Miyagi-Do. It dives into the origins of Cobra Kai and backstories there. And then we have these wonderful the field trip episodes of going to Okinawa, and then building to the ultimate climax that the fans are hopefully excited for, but maybe get there in a way that they did not expect.
I think, like you said, the most exciting aspect for me when I got the season 3 scripts was like the emotional side of Cobra Kai, and not necessarily in a down and dreary, sad kind of place, but all of it, the good, the funny, the bad, the ugly, like all of it comes into play. All the stuff that I feel like we already loved about the show, they added a layer of depth to it that made it more fun to go on the highs and lows.
The only way to end this is by working together. So, what do you say?
This season starts out with Miguel in the hospital. He's still in a coma. What can you tease about the journey he goes on this season?
I can say that the journey, first and foremost, is going to be one that has to be really fought with himself at the very beginning. You know, Miguel has a lot of work to do in terms of figuring out if Sam is right for him, figuring out if really Robbie is the person that he should be angry at, or you know, I guess, you know, for Miguel himself, had he not, you know, made some mistakes at that party, I don't know if any of this fight would be happening. So I think first and foremost, there needs to be a little bit of self-reflection done before he can wake up and kind of get back to normal.
I mean, yeah, it's a heavy one. I think it built his character a lot. I mean, he really just has no question about what's the right thing to do now.
Your enemies think they're the hero, and you're the villain.
We learn a little bit more about Kreese this season, and we learn that Kreese and Tori, they have some stuff in common. What can you tease about how we learn about the history of these characters this season?
Well, I think that there's a lot of cool little special things in there for the fans, because Jesse Cove, Marty's son, is in it. He's part of young Kreese's backstory and everything else. But I think seeing that these characters were not born bad, they weren't born villains, but they were kind of made and created. And I think seeing the origin story of Kreese and seeing the origin story of, you know, kind of a little bit of Tori and everything else and why these people are the way they are, I think that, you know, the world can tear people down and make them into what they are.
There is no good.
Look at this freak.
There is no bad. Only weak, but strong.
What are you most excited for fans to see this season?
What I love to play the most is the relationship with Miguel and getting him going healed, back on his feet, if that's going to be possible. And the action is great. The nostalgia is always there, and then there's the humor. So I love season 3. It's my favorite so far.
I can't even think of just one. I mean, we have the journey back to Okinawa. We have, you know, Johnny's insane, you know, reinvention of himself. And then also the maybe not relationship between Carmen and Johnny. There's a lot.
Honestly, there's some great fights, and there's a couple little, I want to tease it so bad. There's a couple in the trailer, the fight where I have the bloody hands. That is like my favorite scene of this season. All the fights are, I feel like, have a lot more emotional weight to them, and they are a lot more emotionally charged. And I think that is something that is cool to see, because sometimes fights just happen for fights, but this is like it comes for a reason, you know? So I'm really excited for everyone to see it.